No problem. We haven't started yet.
Okay.
Okay, we are now streaming, it looks like, on YouTube.
Evans.
Where'd Destiny go? Okay, are we good, Destiny?
Let's see. Get all these pop-ups away from the screen.
It says it's streaming live on YouTube.
Okay.
I think we're good.
We're good.
Okay. Okay. You can go ahead, Frank.
Okay. I'm Frank Mullis, and I'm the chairman of SORB, and I call the meeting for October 10th, 2024
today in Atlanta, and
to order.
To step out for a few minutes to talk to you.
Hold on, Frank.
Okay.
Somebody's has some background, something going on.
Okay.
Max,
can y'all hear me, or do you still hear background?
So, Leah is.
We hear you, but there's somebody. I don't know who is. Somebody's in somebody's office or close. We're hearing somebody talk in the background. Okay.
Strange.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'll start over. I'm Frank Mullis. I'm the board chair for SORB. I call the meeting for October 10th, 2024 for the Sex Offender Risk Review Board to order. I want to welcome all of our guests that are viewing us through YouTube. Tracy, could I get a roll call, please?
Yes. So, sorry, let me pull that back up. Okay, Mindy Eckerman.
Here.
Mandy Ballinger. Elizabeth Bigham.
Here.
Ezell Brown.
Here.
Jerry Bruce.
Here.
James Chapin.
Here.
Robbie Frederick.
Here.
Katie Gropper. Jim Morton.
Here.
Frank Mullis.
Present.
Bert Reeves.
Here.
Lori Rozier.
Here.
And Megan Thurman.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to begin by reading our mission statement. Our purpose and mission is protecting Georgia's children and communities at large by identifying convicted sexual offenders that present the greatest risk of sexually reoffending. It is the board's responsibility to determine the likelihood that a sexual offender will engage in another crime against a victim who is a minor or a dangerous sexual offense. Assessments will be used by SORB to determine the risk level of the offenders. Offenders will be classified as level 1, level 2, or sexually dangerous predators. Don't believe we have there, so we'll look at the approval and adoption of the minutes. Any questions or concern about the minutes?
And then anything else that you want to put on there?
Okay, do I hear a motion that we accept the minutes as proposed?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. We'll move on to any unfinished business now, because I don't believe we have any reports from officers or standing committees, do we, Tracy?
No, we don't.
Okay. Any unfinished business? All right. We do have some new business. We have some new board members. Tracy, could you introduce our new board members to us, please?
Yes, well, I'll actually introduce and let them tell a little bit about themselves and their background. And yeah, I know y'all know Elizabeth Bigham, so I'm going to start with you, Elizabeth, if you want to share a little bit.
Sure. So I apologize. I'm sitting at a conference right now in a corner in the hallway. Which is why I look like this. So my name is Elizabeth Bigham. I'm a special agent with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. I have been an agent, I think, for almost 18 years. I have to go back and count. I worked child exploitation and computer crimes for just over 10 years, and then was a field agent before that for about 6.5 years. And I just recently, in the past year, transferred to our cold case unit. So I'm still have my foot in the child exploitation stuff, and I'm still working some of my old cases because I refuse to give them up. But other than that, now I'm focused on very old deceased people. So
Okay, well,
that's what I'm doing now.
Okay, well, welcome. We want to welcome you.
Thank you.
thank you. Yes, we're very excited to have you.
Thank
And
you. I'm
then-
excited.
And then Megan Thurman.
Hey everybody, my name is Megan. I have been in this line of work for a combined total of about 15 years. I started 2 weeks after high school and took a break in between and came back, and now I'm about to start my 3rd year as a victim advocate. And right now I am in juvenile court and specializing in CVC to help our victims receive compensation. So I'm excited to get started and learn something new and try to do some good. So I appreciate y'all allowing me to do this.
Thank you and welcome.
Yes, we're excited to have you. We're excited about you both being
Thank
on
you.
the board. This will be great.
Any other new business from anyone? All right, Tracy, your report, please.
Okay, so first thing is I had sent you all the 2025 calendar. We need to get that approved. If everybody's still good with doing the second Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. Did anybody have any issues with that? Okay, so Frank, if you want to just take a vote on that.
All right. Do I hear a motion that we accept the 2025 calendar as presented by Tracy?
So moved.
Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The 2025 calendar has been accepted.
Great. And Destiny, you can get that posted on our website. And speaking of website, I did not think of putting this on the agenda, but Richard and I have just started kind of reaching out to some potential folks to help us build our website and change our website because because we didn't have the funds before. It's really just a Google site that does the bare necessities because we have to post and do all that kind of good stuff. But we'd like to, one of my goals for this year is really get the public more involved and give them more education and knowledge, and also make our website more friendly user for the public as well as our stakeholders. And so if you all have any ideas on things that you think would be really good for our website, if you could email those to me, because any assistance, when we've been talking, of course, they're asking what we would like. And so things I've mentioned to them is we want to be able to put some basic small videos. We want to be able to, when we have trainings, to be able to register via the website. We want to put up more educational information on the website. So anything else though that you think of, please email me, because I'm hoping to get something in place by January, give or take, that is more productive than what we have right now. So yeah, any thoughts about that? The other thing is our retreat for 2025. We're gonna have to be thinking about the date and also topics or speakers that you want. If you don't, my thought is it might be good to have a working retreat with the agency changing, with it getting bigger and more going on. And we need to really update the bylaws and the standing rules and that type of thing. So I was kind of thinking of a working retreat, but if you have something else you'd prefer than that, if you could email me. But we do need to get an idea where it takes a lot of planning, especially through trying to get through DBHCD and getting all that in place. So I need ideas sooner than later about location and dates. So, and really updating, we're still hiring. We have a few more people to hire. I've been in contact with both the Capitol. I have a meeting with them for appropriations at the end of the month, just kind of updating them. And then have met with OPB and have been talking to OPB, just kind of keep them posted. Again, we don't have an office. Hopefully we'll be in February, March, GBA has told me. And we have just a few more people to hire for our clinical evaluators, but we're in a pretty good place. I think we're working. Marcus is working his butt off on training everybody, which has been crazy. And Paulding County has been, or Cobb County, I guess. Richard, can you tell a little bit about I really want to show Cobb our appreciation for them letting us use their training facility, because we have no place to train our folks, or we didn't have, and they've offered their space. Richard, can you tell everybody a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've been able to use space at the North Central Georgia Law Enforcement Academy, which is in Austell, Georgia, and Cobb County Sheriff's personnel are running it, and they've been very gracious in allowing us space and accommodating us, and it's worked out wonderfully for us.
It really has. We're really grateful.
Yes. Tracy, did we get a chance for everybody to meet Richard as the new deputy director? I wasn't sure. I know you had sent out an email.
We did the last meeting for those who attended, but since there weren't many who attended last meeting, that's probably a good idea if you want to do an introduction.
Okay.
Go ahead, Richard.
All right. Well, as you guys said, I'm Richard Hammond. I recently became deputy director effective the 1st of October. I've been with SORB for a few years in investigator status. And prior to that, I retired from the Cobb Sheriff's Office after 24 years. So I'm looking forward to this challenge and learning the duties.
And he's been a godsend. So I'm grateful for the assistance I have never had. So in this capacity. So I'm really excited. He's been great. Not much new going on with the changes. We're just trying to get everything in place. And once we get everything in place, then we can really start moving on other things. But right now it's really about getting staff in place and getting those kind of changes taken care of, and hopefully an office. Would you ever realize how much you really need an office until you don't have one? So that's been kind of a challenge. Meeting with people has been kind of interesting and dealing that kind of thing. So Amanda has really settled into her role as which has been another godsend for me, because she supervises clinical evaluators, and I'm grateful that she can do that I don't have to do that anymore. And really kind of managing all that. And again, Marcus has been training really hard, and Russ taking over his sole role since Richard's not there anymore as assistant chief. Russ kind of taking care of all the investigators. So really just kind of working into everything. And then our next board meeting is November 14th.
Tracy, can you tell us how many new evaluators have been hired and how many more you're wanting to bring on, and how the training's going so far?
Yeah, so let me bring up so I can tell you exactly where we're at because we've hired quite a few, and not everybody is appropriate for. I think it's interesting to kind of see. I had one person who said she was interested in the position. She was going to have her daughter apply because she needed more money, and I was like, this isn't Walmart. It's interesting, the people who apply. So we've had some people who have worked really well and fit the position, and then we've had those who it just was not a fit, because I think it's more to this than people realize. So let's see. So we've had to let a few people go and then reestablish people for those positions. And so right now we have, let's see. Okay. So we have our investigators, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 investigators, and we're hiring one more part-time person. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full-time evaluators, and we're hiring 2 more. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 part-time evaluators. I've already submitted 1, 2, 3, 4 additional part-time evaluators to start November 1st. And we need 1 more that we're going to be interviewing, and anticipate them being in November 1st. So as long as I can get all the paperwork done and DBHCD is able to get the paperwork done for them to start November 1st, as of November 1st, we should have every position filled, which would be 14 part-time evaluators. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 full-time evaluators, and then the 9 part-time investigators.
That's great.
So yeah, that's a lot. And so then we also, add the deputy director, we add the supervisor for the clinical evaluators. We still have the chief, and then Marcus changing to research and legislative specialist, which, we hope to this year, not so much about legislation, but next year really start getting back into that, because you know how we want to be looking at the 5 levels possibility.
Any comments or questions for Tracy on regards to that? Okay, I think we're ready to move into the review of cases. All of our board members were given a chance to review the cases for the month. Did anyone not have a chance other than, I believe, our 2 new board members? All right, Tracy, can you explain the leveling process for us, please?
Yes, so cases come in to SORB through various agencies, and they're entered into our system. Then our investigators take the cases based on however they select them. So it may be through county, it may be because there's immediate rush on the case due to dangerousness, it may be due to a court order. They collect all the information, criminal documentation. Once that's done, it goes to evaluators. They then choose cases and they review the documentation and summarize it. They then look at community supervision and summarize their community supervision, where they're identifying risk factors or protective factors. Then they are also looking at prison information to do the same thing. And then also treatment information to, again, identify those dynamic and protective factors. They score the static 99R and 2002R, and then they put all that in a report for the board members and make a recommendation of a level 1 to a predator. And then the board members are able to read those throughout the month. And board members do not have any identifying information about an offender. I mean, they don't know names, they don't know locations. And if a case has been worked by somebody on the board, we recuse that person so that they do not vote on that case.
All right, so we will move into our level 1 cases. Are there any recusals? I don't see any for the level 1 cases, do we, Tracy?
Not that we were able to identify, no.
Okay, so does anyone have any recusals for level 1 cases that they may have noticed? All right, are there any questions, comments, or concerns about the level 1 cases? Okay, do I hear a motion to adopt the level 1 cases that are presented to the board for review?
So moved.
I'll
Thank
second.
you, Laura. All right. We have a first and a
I'm
second.
sorry, I didn't hear the second for the first.
Robbie.
I think it was Robbie, yeah. All right, so moved. And so Tracy, can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, Mindy,
Aye.
Sheriff Brown,
Aye.
Jerry,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Robbie,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Bert,
Aye.
Lori.
Aye.
They pass.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the level 2 cases. I have 2 recusals. Any other recusals for the level 2 cases? Okay, do we have any members with questions, comments, or concerns about the level 2 cases? Okay, do I hear a motion that we accept the level 2 cases as presented?
So moved.
Second.
And that was Jerry and Jim for the first and second. Okay, can I get a roll call, please?
Yep. Hold on 1 second. I just have to mark the first and second.
I think it was Jerry and Bert.
It was actually, yeah, I was the
Okay,
second.
that's why I thought. I was like, it's not like Bert's voice, but I could have been off. Okay, so Bert's the second.
Also,
Okay,
Bert was second.
so Bert was second. Yes. Okay, Mindy,
Aye.
Sheriff Brown,
Aye.
Jerry,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Robbie,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Frank, other than your recusals,
Aye.
Bert,
Aye.
Lori,
Aye.
they pass.
All right. We have 22 sexually dangerous predator cases, and I have 3 recusals, and Katie's not here, so I believe she had 1. Any other recusals for the sexually dangerous predator cases? Do we have any members who have questions, comments, or concerns about these cases? Could I get a motion that we stop the sexually dangerous predator cases that have been presented to the board?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, who was the first?
James was first, I believe, and Sheriff Brown was second, and then Lori was as well.
Okay, so James was first and Sheriff Brown was second.
Yeah. And
Okay.
all right. So Tracy, could I get a roll call on the sexually dangerous predator cases, please?
Yes. Mindy, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No questions or concerns. My vote is aye.
Sheriff Brown, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No questions. My vote is aye.
Jerry, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, and my vote is aye.
James, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, my vote is aye.
Robbie, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No questions or concerns. My vote is aye.
Jim, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, and my vote is aye.
Frank, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs other than your recusals?
No, and my vote is aye.
Bert, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
None. My vote is aye.
Lori, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, my vote is aye.
They pass.
All right. We'll now move on to our 13 reeval cases. Do we have any recusals? I do have 1. All right. Any questions or concerns or comments about our reevaluation cases?
I was just gonna, as a comment, I review these pretty carefully, especially when there's a reduction from, and in this month we had 3 reductions from level 2 to level 1. And I think I've probably said this before, but those are some of the cases that I really dissect the most and pay the most close attention to. And I just want to say as a comment that I thought all 3 cases were very equipped with the facts and data that I needed to feel comfortable with those reductions. I know that sometimes we, in the last few months, especially, we've talked a lot about missing information. And I felt all 3 of those cases were very well documented to feel comfortable that that was the appropriate decision. And so I just want to applaud the investigators and reviewers for the work that they did in this.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that, Bert, because what I can do too is take those 3 cases and have the other evaluators be able to see those as guidance as to how they work, for future reference. So thank you.
Do I hear a motion that we accept the reeval cases?
So moved.
Second.
And that was Robbie, then Bert.
Okay. Mindy, any questions or concerns about any of the reevaluation cases?
No, and my vote is aye.
Sheriff Brown, any questions or concerns about any of the reevaluation cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Jerry, any questions or concerns about any of the reevaluation cases?
No, my vote is aye.
James, any questions or concerns about any of the reevaluation cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Robbie, any questions or concerns about any of the reevaluation cases?
No questions. My vote is aye.
Jim, any questions or concerns about any of the reevaluation cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Frank, other than your one recusal, any questions or concerns about any of the reevaluation cases?
No, and my vote is aye.
Burr, any questions or concerns about any of the reevaluation cases?
None, my vote is aye.
Lori, any questions or concerns about any of the reevaluation cases?
No, my vote is aye.
And they pass.
All right. Any other questions or comments about anything from the meeting?
So I just want to remind everyone, if you would please email me ideas about the retreat as well as the website.
And places to go?
Yes, and dates.
And as far as dates, are we still looking in April? So dates in April, or are we?
Yeah, we usually look in April, the end of, I don't like to do any time prior to April because of legislation, but anytime April and forward, but I think April tends to work for people, but whatever y'all think.
It does.
I think everybody's enjoyed Blue Ridge. I don't know if it was affected by the storms or not.
I haven't seen anything, but
yeah,
Yeah,
where?
I think Blue Ridge is great. I don't know how many people have to drive further than Metro Atlanta, and that would be my, in fairness, those of you who have to drive a lot farther, that may not be the ideal place, but I think it works great though.
it does work great.
It does. And from what I remember last year, our choices weren't that great. So
Yeah.
We come in here.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I think we had Helen as an option, but then Jerry quickly reminded me that it was dirty.
We had it in Helen 1 year and everybody hated it.
So let's not do that.
So
I mean, I was a prosecutor there and I just can't go back and
Have y'all ever done Lanier Islands? Like Lake Lanier's Lodge and stuff?
It's
Yeah, we have
nice
not.
there. I've gone with TJJ, but it is nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
We've done some conferences there and it's nice because you have the resort with plenty of restaurants and stuff like that, but you're also not far from things. You can't walk like you can in Blue Ridge, but it's something different. It's nice. Not
Yeah.
far from Metro.
Okay. Cool. So I'll put out an email that those who have been recommended, then y'all can just give me feedback.
You do need
And
a
I'll-
car for the restaurants though, right?
At
Okay.
Lanier?
Yeah.
They have golf carts everywhere and shuttles. There's a restaurant or two at the lodge, and then there's the different kind of Margaritaville restaurants around.
Right.
But they have shuttles and golf carts.
So if anybody has any other ideas other than those two, what I'll do is I'll get some pricing for everything and then just kind of let you guys know what things look like.
And Tracy, as an idea for a potential speaker, I mean, I know we've covered a lot of different grounds over the last several years, but this is just an idea, and I don't know. So our 5-level proposal, is that something that we're going to be proposing for this coming legislative session?
So these are
No.
So take what?
Be for the next. Then
Not
I think
not
it-
this coming, yeah, with everything going on, I figured we'd wait till next year.
So I think that a really a potential idea is Tyler Paul Smith, who's the chair of Judiciary Non-Civil in the House of Representatives. He's a lawyer, and that if that bill was filed through the House, it would go through his committee, and I think it would be a good if we invited him. He could talk to us about legislative process.
That would be
B,
awesome.
we could use that opportunity to present to him, our rationale behind the legislative change that we may be seeking in 2026.
Okay.
And so that would be a good opportunity. So it's just an idea.
I love it. Actually.
And I think that he's a great dude, and I think would enjoy the experience, and it would be good for him. Somebody like him to learn more about what we do is good bang for buck, because he has a voice in all of that. So.
That would be awesome. I love that idea.
Yeah.
What
agree.
kind of speakers are you looking for? Just so I understand, like, I know I presented before, but is there any particular like topics or anything like that so I can reach out to the network of people that I'm involved with? And
so in the last several years, we've had defense attorney, we've had prosecutor, we had you this year. I talked about appropriations process this year.
Federal probation.
Probation.
Polygraph.
So we've kind of covered a lot of it.
okay.
I do want to say though, Tracy, I don't think all of us were here last month, and this, if I'm not mistaken, this retreat is going to look a little different than previous ones. Right, Tracy?
Yeah, just because we want to do some, which I think actually Bert's recommendation of the speaker will add to this process of us. What are we looking at with the agency, with it growing and making it a working retreat, which Bert, I think your recommendation of a speaker for him with legislation, all that would go perfectly with this idea. So if everybody's good with that, I would love to do that. It'd be really, really helpful for me. And I think helpful for the board, and then the management team that will be coming to the retreat. I think everybody would gain a lot from that overall, if you all are good with that.
And I think as something with that retreat, we really got to look into the number of cases that are going to be reviewed every month, and how are we physically going to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's a great point, Frank. Once we get all these people on board and they're trained and ready to go, you're going to be seeing a lot more cases.
But we're not having the evaluators come other than
No.
management, correct? So
Correct.
yeah, I think everybody missed that discussion.
Yeah, so obviously we could not afford to have everybody attend the retreat. So I'm just having upper management, which would include Richard and I, and then Kaylin and Russ and Amanda. So everybody's represented.
And Marcus.
And Marcus, I'm
Marcus,
sorry.
yeah,
Marcus. Yes, I can't forget Marcus. So yes.
Can we get an update on AI and child erotica? I know Elizabeth will be there. If there's any legislative change, I know y'all talked about that last year. So in case anything.
I think in common conversation, we could definitely, because we'll just kind of we'll be there anyway. But I think for this retreat, if everybody's good with it being a working retreat regarding SORBs specific things that we're working on, I think would be very beneficial.
When and if you do want an update, there's an agent I can reach out to that started kind of looking at it way more than I did. And we can definitely have him speak and give us an update.
Sure, it's just bleeding over into some of my polygraphs and things like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When we want to, I've got resources for that for sure. It's not me because I didn't look into it. It's not going to be me for that one, but I can make it happen.
All right. Any other things before we adjourn? Do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All right. We will be here November
14th.
November 14th. And I guess we'll discuss if we're going to do something for Christmas then, Tracy.
Well, this year, I mean, unless y'all want to find a place to go, we don't have any location, but that doesn't mean we can't figure something out if y'all want to do that.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So we're okay. Well, everybody, thank you for everything, everybody. I appreciate it. And I will see you all on the 14th.
Sounds
Bye,
good.
everyone.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, just making sure. Let's see, you two, we need to